All right, well, I kept this one actually very short, meant to introduce everybody to the basics of how to intern abroad. This is a new thing in our field that we are looking at, is promoting more virtual internships for students that would ordinarily be going abroad, either studying abroad or working abroad, but this is a way to continue to offer them that. Okay. So I will go ahead and get started with the first slide, which is an overview of internships abroad. So internships abroad can either take the form of credit-bearing or non-credit internships. What that means is that sometimes you just go for the experience, and sometimes you go to get a class that validates or makes your internship count towards, say, your degree. Typically, I have not heard of many internships that are paid. Most of them are unpaid. So you're there to get experience, or like I said, maybe experience and academic credit. The length of a time for an internship abroad would be anywhere from 1 week, very short time, to 1 year. So you could go abroad for a full year and do an internship. That is a possibility. And now we are in an era in which virtual internships are absolutely possible. So I've included some examples of providers that provide virtual internships. So there are a few, we'll go over them in a few minutes, but essentially these are just the beginning. There are so many people out there that provide internships and virtual internships. Let me move on to the next slide. Here are 4 benefits of interning abroad. First, you would be gaining experience in your field from an international perspective. So let's say you're in business. Obviously, having an international experience will benefit you greatly because many businesses are run globally. They either have branches in other countries or they hire people from other countries. Or they might use a language component. Say you conduct your work in Spanish some of the time or in Chinese some of the time. It really enhances your resume to have an internship. We all know that. It's akin to a form of work experience. It would help you learn how to be a more effective communicator. So you would be preparing yourself as well for what's the norm. So we know, we just got that announcement a couple days ago, we are going to have a fall semester online, all the CSUs. So this is our new world. We are doing everything remotely. We're studying remotely. We are maybe volunteering remotely, taking care of each other remotely, and we're working remotely. So I want to get a sense, how many of you are currently working remotely? Is there anybody on this discussion that is currently working remotely? And you can feel free to either unmute yourself or type it into Instagram if you're there, or go ahead and type it into the chat. Catherine, Tessa, Gemaline, Simrandeep, Cam, Lizette, any of you working remotely? Or Sandra? I'll assume the silence. It's probably a no. Well, here's what I know. I'm working remotely. Guadalupe is working remotely. Hilda is working remotely. And my colleague Amy, who's on this chat, is also working remotely. So a lot of us are working remotely. I see some things popping up. All right, no one here that we know of is working remotely, but many of us right now are working remotely. So having that international experience will give you that opportunity to get remote work experience. Imagine, it's 3 years from now, we've sorted out the vaccine, we've figured out how to get, hopefully it's not gonna take 3 years, but let's just say, imagine yourself in 3 years. What is the experience you want to develop before getting to that point? And I think the answer is remote work skills. Already actively trying to find or build those remote work skills, you should be doing so as soon as possible, because that's the world we're going to live in, at least for the next foreseeable time. Here are 5 benefits of virtual internships. We talked about internships in general. Here are some benefits of virtual internships. Depending on the program, you can earn academic credit. You can also build remote and international work experience. You can build a network of international professionals. So let's say that you have an internship in Dublin, Ireland, okay? Now you have a former boss in Dublin, Ireland. Now you have a former colleague in Dublin, Ireland. And maybe when this all lifts, you decide to go to Dublin, Ireland yourself in person. There are ways that you can create these networks here through LinkedIn. And if you aren't doing so, I strongly recommend you reach out to the Career Center about building a LinkedIn profile. But if you're working day in and day out for a few weeks with a company, you will build a network of people in other countries. That is invaluable experience. You're also going to be working and communicating across time and space with different people. And depending on the location of the internship, you might be writing or mastering your language skills. So I am assuming that many of the people in this chat already speak a second language, if not a third language. Do we have any language people in the house? What's the second or third language that you speak? Feel free to unmute yourself or type into the chat. I see a chat button come up. Spanish and Portuguese. Wow, Sandra, that's really impressive actually to speak both those languages. So Sandra on the Zoom call says that she speaks Spanish and Portuguese. Simrandeep speaks Punjabi and Hindi. Excellent. We have 4 very different languages right here, right in this chat. Anybody else? Any other languages? Okay. Well, I know that we have a lot of Spanish speakers on our campus and in Southern California in general. Yes, Marcus speaks Spanish. Monica speaks German. Fantastic. Well, we know that those language skills will translate very well to a virtual internship because you have a boss. And let's imagine your boss is in Madrid.
More of a balanced portfolio.
So let's imagine you have this boss in Madrid and you're communicating with that boss in English, but there's a difficult topic and you just want to like communicate in Spanish. So that's a way to like really break down barriers. In the case of Simrandeep, speaking Punjabi and Hindi will open up an Indian market, for example, if you could do a work experience, remote work experience in India. Monica, obviously a big economy in Europe, and quite a lot of people do speak German, not only in Germany, but also in Austria and Switzerland. And so that really opens up a lot. Portuguese as well, Sandra, opens up quite a bit. You have at least Brazil, if not also Portugal itself. And these are great opportunities for you to practice that. Obviously, language is always a good idea. So here, so we're going a little bit beyond, but I'm kind of wrapping it up here. If interning abroad is not the only thing that you're interested in and you'd like something else, here's other opportunities. You can intern abroad, you can work abroad, you can complete your master's degree or PhD abroad. You can teach abroad, like what I did, or you can volunteer abroad. So these are all opportunities for you that go beyond studying abroad as well. So that kind of wraps up, I just have extra slides at this point. So that kind of wraps up a lot of what I was going to say in terms of interning abroad or other international opportunities. So I kept it rather short. But what I will do is stop the share, any questions so far, and then I'll go on and show you some examples of these virtual internships. Let me ask, how many of you are considering an internship right now or are looking into it? Feel free to either unmute yourself or type it into the chat. Okay, so Sandra's asking, what was my experience like in South Korea? Well, I spent 2.5 years there, Sandra, and I loved South Korea. I always recommend it to people. I think it's one of the best countries that I've ever lived in. And what I mean by that is it is a vibrant country. It's a great place to be if you like urban life because it's about as urban as you get and very condensed with people, very high energy, 24/7 culture, great place to live and very convenient. The food is healthy as well. And I enjoyed that. And as a former vegetarian, it was actually a surprisingly good place to live. I enjoyed teaching, and that was what I was there for. Not everybody will find that that's what they enjoy, but I did. And I recommend it strongly. Is there a specific location or type of internship that you are interested in. What locations would you like to intern in, and what topics or fields? All right, Cam says okay, so Monica says Spain or France in finance, thank you. And Cam says, I'd like to intern somewhere where I can do copy editing or technical writing. Cam is someone who loves writing. I totally co-sign with that. We can take is there anybody else, any other ideas? Spain or France, finance, copy editing, technical writing, anybody else? Great, we got some good comments. Yes, Spanish, okay, great. Yes, Monica, that would really open up, for example, for Spain. Okay, and Sandra says that she'd like to intern in Spain, Brazil, or South Korea, and the topics would be English or poli-sci. Gemelin, I hope I say that right, Gemelin, it would like to intern in Japan, South Korea, or China, and accounting is what Gemelin's interested in. And Marcus is interested in Japan or South Korea in computer science. We have a variety of interests here. So let me go ahead, thanks Gemelin. Let me go ahead and share another screen with you, which is, I'm just going to share a couple of things that I've been working on with the Career Center. Okay, so I'm going to open up a screen here that I've been working on with the Career Center, which lists types of internships, and I think they can send you the link to this later. But essentially, there's a lot of different types of internships that you can do abroad. I'm going to show you 4 to keep it simple. So the first one is Authentica. Authentica has locations in Southeast Asia. Hello, and what was that?
Morning.
Hi. Okay, Authentica, I'm just talking about internships abroad. So Authentica has internships in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam, India, and I believe also in Singapore, so South and Southeast Asia. This is their website. You can take a look through it. Their cost is 8 weeks, and it's around $1,200, $1,300. That's including you're working with a project, and at the end of it, you are given a letter of recommendation, and you are also given a certificate of completion. This is team-based. You'd be learning a lot of remote work skills by doing this. You'd have to actually interview for this. Most internships, you do have to interview for it like a job. So it's good experience. And they give you multiple topics, basically. So these are real projects for each of these companies. And here are some examples of things that they have done. So they worked in India, for example, to design an e-commerce system, to empower rural artisans. So this is an example of just one of the things they've done. Here's some testimonials from students. So this is Authentica. We have, they're one of the more affordable options. There's also another program if you're interested in Spain. Hi, welcome. If you're interested in internships in Spain, this is around the same cost, around $1,200. You can actually get placed though in a Spanish language internship. It's in Barcelona. Obviously that's the name of the company, Barcelona SAE. And it gives you a chance to do that. The applications are going to be extended. They say May 8, but some of these applications are a little softer. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to them right away. They're looking for a minimum GPA. And of course, all of these require your own computer, internet, and Spanish language is useful, but it's not necessarily required. And so this is about 20 hours a week, different projects, and I tell you a little bit about what those are. So for example, I forget which one said that you're interested in copywriting, technical writing. This might be a good one for you. Anyway, so those are the different examples. And then we have another one that Guadalupe found as well from the Career Center. Connect 123 is also a global remote internship program that you can do this summer. All of these are summer internships. So you can actually do a summer internship while you are currently at home and get a lot of the benefits. Certificates usually letters of recommendation, building your network, maybe some language practice, and so on. Anyway, they cost almost all of them. So I'm not going into the content because almost all of them will be able to meet whatever it is that you want to accomplish. They customize these internships for you. So they're connecting you with a company that has a need, but they're also looking at your needs, which is why they usually give you an interview, ask you lots of questions, and give you an orientation as well. So here's another one. This one is actually one of the more affordable ones. I think I remember it being something like, so here are their locations, by the way: Spain, Argentina, South Africa, Ireland, China, and Australia. And then we have Kappa, which also has a variety of ones around the world. This one's also around $1,200 to receive credit for this internship, and a summer online internship in Barcelona, Spain, Argentina, Ireland, Italy, England, China, and Australia. A few of you were asking about internships in China or in East Asia, so Shanghai would obviously be an example of one. But you can also, I think I'll probably need a minute to find some programs that you mentioned wanting to have an internship in Japan or in South Korea. I believe those are also an option, but I'd have to find a company that actually had that location listed as one of their options. Essentially, this is just a good overview. There are many, many options out there. Does anyone have any remaining questions? I also want to emphasize another thing. Amy is on this call. Hi, Amy, you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself for a minute?
Hi, my name is Amy. How are you? Good to see everybody here. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you for joining, Amy. So the team of the Education Abroad is myself, I'm the director. Amy is one of the coordinators, and the other coordinator is Emilio. The three of us work together to help students. So if you're interested in meeting with us one-on-one, we can help you with some of these questions, like that you're interested in a more customized approach. Like you want to say, for example, Marcus wants to go to South Korea and do a computer science internship, for example. Okay, that's going to take a little bit of work. We're going to have to look at the different providers, see what's out there, but we can provide that kind of guidance for you. The Career Center is also a great option to reach out to. They also take advising appointments. Hey y'all, we're still here. We're still advising students, and we still want to talk to you. So we are very, very happy to talk to you and customize anything according to what you might want out of this experience. But right, Guadalupe? You popped on. Yes. So essentially I think this is more of like an introduction to interning abroad. We want to reiterate, there are many, many, many opportunities to intern in other countries without leaving your room. So again, you can intern in another country from your room this summer, and you can also study in another country from your room next year. So there's so many opportunities for you. And when all of this is more open, we're able to travel freely between countries, there's still going to be lots of work opportunities. There's still going to be lots of internships in that country. If you needed to do some work here and stay here, we understand that. But we're here to support you, and we want to let you know the options are pretty much limitless, honestly. It's just that this year they're going to be virtual.
I want to add something so even if, let's say, if you are interested in interning abroad, let's say next summer, I definitely encourage you to all start now and looking into the programs and what options would be available. And I'm sure, it varies, right? Each program will vary with the requirements and the process. So some might take a little bit longer, while others are a little bit faster. But kudos to all of you who are participating today, because I think it really shows your initiative. And if you're interested in this, to start now. And just, it doesn't end with this workshop, follow up. As Sonja mentioned, like, we're here to support you in next steps.
I just was replying to Sandra, but I wanted to reiterate this to everyone else. Yeah, so there are many, I do actually get asked a lot of questions about, hey, I'm a grad student, what do I do? Are there still options? And yes, the majority of options are for undergrads, not gonna lie, but that doesn't mean that they're the only options. A lot of these, particularly these internships are not limited to students. You can intern abroad anytime you want. I'm thinking about taking some time off and interning in another country. It would be a lot of fun. So there are opportunities for anybody at any age to intern abroad. Secondly, while this isn't necessarily widely known, there are many graduate programs in other countries that you can participate in. So if you would like to do a master's degree or a doctorate degree in another country, go for it. In fact, that's one of the fields in which I'm happy to provide advice on. So if you'd like to set up an appointment with me or with Amy or with Emilio, you can do so. Our websites have options to create appointments with us directly. You can also just send me an email and let me know if there's anything that you had questions about in terms of either interning or in terms of doing grad school abroad. So there's a lot of options. There's even scholarships for graduate students as well to study in other countries. The Fulbright is a great example. It'll open up again for the coming year. 2021 would be the earliest you could go on a Fulbright. And this is a fully funded program through the US government that allows you to do a master's degree or doctorate degree or another terminal degree like a master's in fine arts in another country. So there really, if you can dream it, it'll exist. Not sure what happened there. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, any other questions? Great questions. Any questions from Instagram Live? Hi, we're just wrapping up a conversation about internships abroad or experiences abroad. Okay, so where can you find the scholarships available in other countries? Cam, I'm not sure if you're asking if there's a scholarships in other countries or scholarships to study in other countries. So essentially, I'm gonna share right now a good website for you to take a look at. That's a bit of a long link, but let me go ahead and share this with you. We have a lot of options for scholarships. So here are a list of the scholarships that you can get to study in other countries. Of course, at the moment, some of these are suspended because of this year, but many of them are still available. So first of all, I should mention, CSUSB is very generous to students who have an international experience. For example, the Presidential Education Abroad Award is $500 for anyone who has a 2.0 GPA and higher and is enrolled in a degree-seeking program and they'd like to take a credit-bearing program abroad internationally. ASI also has research and travel awards. Phi Beta Delta, if you are a member, please be a member, is a great option as well. And the summer assistance grant still applies to students who would like to study abroad, summer graduate initiative grant as well, and others. And externally, we have a lot of other funds. There are funds like the Fund for Education Abroad, the Boren Award, the Gilman, Scott's Cheap Flights, Freeman Asia, Tortuga, Diversity Abroad, Fulbright, Critical Language Scholarship, blah, 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 blah. There's so many of them. Explore the World. I mean, I'm literally just adding this to the list as I go and go and go. So these are all specifically for the experience of studying abroad. So good question. Sandra asked, what is Phi Beta Delta? Amy, why don't you field that question? I'll let you go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, let me check the question again.
The question is, what is Phi Beta Delta?
Phi Beta Delta is a honor society, one of the honor societies organization, and it's really good for they have a nationwide and also have a local scholarship you can apply, and they're very simple. If you needed the information, all you needed to do just right now because of COVID-19, so you cannot come to our office. Otherwise, you just come to our front desk. You can easily to find application. But if you right now, if you, of course, again, it's a COVID-19, so you definitely can write me an email so I can forward information for you. And what's good about this is you can go on the nationwide conference, and if you join as a member, and also you can apply for the local scholarship. And I know that it's a 500 up to 1,500. It depends on, based on, as long as you're eligible, your GPA for 3.0, and graduate study, I believe a graduate student, you needed to have 3.5, then I think you can apply for the scholarship. Yeah, but for the membership, that's no GPA required. You can always join as a member, and you can join all the conference, and also you can have generally the organization will provide the event and also the conference, so you can always join, and that's good for your resume for the career in the future. Yeah, and me and by the way, me and Sonja, we are all part of a member, so we welcome you to be a part of a member. Thank you.
We have a lot of student members. Thank you, Amy. We have a lot of student members. Phi Beta Delta is a great organization where the most internationally minded people on the campus are a member of it. So if you have a passion for, an interest in international living, international study abroad, that type of thing, please join. It's a great opportunity, and we're very happy to provide, to be one of the strongest chapters of this particular organization. It's a nationwide organization. Okay, thank you, Amy. So yes, Amy just posted her email address to reach out, and hello to those of you on Instagram Live. I was just speaking, just sort of wrapping up the conversation right now about interning abroad. Amy is one of the study abroad coordinators, Amy Chen, and her email is Chen, so that's YCHIEN2, like the number, at csusb.edu. Please email her if you have any questions about studying abroad, about virtual opportunities to study abroad, to have international experiences. You can also email me, and I'll go ahead and type mine in too. My email is sonja.lind@csusb.edu. Okay, so oops, I think I just sent that to one person instead of to everybody. My email is sonja.lind@csusb.edu. Reach out. We're very happy to have a conversation with you. Any other questions before we wrap up?